So this is part 4 of my kitchen. Today it is the drawers. I have actually got 4, but one of them's already been done, so I'm hoping to get 3 completed today. That means emptying everything out of the drawer, just reviewing it, although I did get again I got rid of so many pieces in the last couple of years. Practically everything I've got in the drawers, I believe, that is, I use. Maybe the bit drawer might be a little bit different, or junk drawer, whatever you like to call it. That's the one that takes more reviewing, as normally this drawer is everything in use. So I want to take everything out. I want to wash the trays because you get crumbs, and then put everything back. So I'll share with you once I finish this drawer. I thought I would actually share before I put all the trays and everything back what I keep in this drawer. This is items mostly I use. There's a couple of items I think that can be moved, which I might put in my other drawer. I've got a cutlery drawer, then I've got a drawer beside it that houses things that I do use but not so frequently. So yeah, I realised I've got 3 can openers. This is due to the fact that when I had problems with my can opener, we ended up getting 3 different models to try different ones. Some are better than others. I always tend to go for this one, I must admit, older type. But yeah, I might have to try these. This is, I think, a battery operated one. I think this is what hubby sort of ordered, but I'll have to see about those. But I always go for that one. Tin openers is one of those things, especially if you open a lot of cans and everything. Sometimes it's nice to have a spare. I know I've done this in a caravan because don't tend to have sometimes so more expensive items in there. And I remember someone knocking on the door to say, can we borrow a can opener? Luckily I had to, so I allowed them to have one. So we got me forks, knives, and then steak knives. I got 4. I meant to have got another set. I think these came from the range probably a couple of years ago, so I just used the forks and the knives. As before, I used to have a complete steak set with the forks. When I got married, I had a fish set with the knives and the forks, but gradually people don't tend to swap out. It was just something that my grandmother bought me because it's something she had. Now, the one item, it took me ages, and a lot of people didn't know what it was when I tried to get another one, because the other one we had was a wooden one. This is a stainless steel one. It is a meat tenderizer, especially for steak. A lot of people don't bother. That was also hubby's sort of domain when we had steak. So realistically, I don't really want that back in this drawer if I can help it. I'd rather have that one in my other drawer. This is something obviously that should really go in the other drawer. I'll have to see how we go. That's the like roasting forks, as I call them, for your joints. All the different spoons. Yeah, we don't tend to use these realistically. We always go for the dessert ones. I don't know why, but there you go. And then I've got 3 different knives. Gone on to the ceramic. I had those 2 first, then the ceramic, and I have got a ceramic set that I constantly use. I don't very often go for these 2, but I'm not going to get rid of them as yet. I usually have this right at the back, my rolling pin, due to the fact then the sort of the organizer doesn't slide. I have a selection of teaspoons. I do like the Sunday spoons as well, because especially when they're taller cups or something, and sometimes we've done like a Knickerbocker Glory type thing. And then I've got my potato peelers, which are in the state actually. We got a lot of ceramic ones. Hubby used to like these type. My son tried it and couldn't get on with it. I can't really, so I like what I call the older fashioned type one. So that's basically what I keep in my everyday cutlery drawer. Hopefully, I don't know, those sort of 3 items I'd like to move out and put into the other drawer. But until I've sorted that one out, we'll have to see on that. So the organisers I use in my everyday colour drawer is this. I believe this came from B&M. I do like the storage from B&M. I get some from the range. A few items I used to get from Wilko's, funny enough. They were usually were pretty good for organisers. I'm sure this one came from B&M, and I like it because it's like the two-part one. What I will do is I am going to actually put it back exactly how it was, due to the fact it worked. I've had this same setup for my cutlery for over a year and it's worked. So I still like to sort of review, declutter if I can, organise. Sometimes it's more on the lines of cleaning and reviewing rather than getting rid of stuff. If it's something you're going to use, obviously you're going to keep it. Also, I tend to use, whether it's on cutlery, especially teaspoons or mugs that I've got from the charity shop, I put it in the mug or whatever. A teaspoon or a couple of this, which is by Astonish. I've used this a lot due to the fact, especially when hubby and my son used to bring their mugs home from work, I used to like to sterilise it, get any stains off, especially if they took teaspoons or something to work, and put it in there, and it does froth up a little bit, but a little while in there and it really gets them clean, and then just wash it up with washing up liquid. And I swear by this, especially for bad stains and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll show you how I actually do this. I'm sorry if I jolt you, but I'm not going to put it on the stand. I just want to get on with this job. I know I like to share things, but there you go. I'm going to put this in exactly the same order as it goes in my drawer. So to keep this from sliding, there's just enough room in the bottom of my drawer to put my rolling pin there. So that's what I normally do. And I always have the same order. I usually have my forks in here. My knives are next, which go in here. Then my next lot of knives, which is my steak knives, go in here. Dessert spoons, because as I said, we tend to use those more than anything. They go in this one. I normally have my vegetable peelers in this one. And then going towards the back, I'm not going to get rid of them because these are handy if I've got guests. And what I do is I just do that top to tail type thing and do it like that. Say we don't very often use those. It's one of those items, and I put my hands up and say it, I do store it, probably for the sake of storing it in case I need it. And then what I do is I've got my little side one here, which I keep me pastry brushing. I love that one. I also keep all my can openers in that one. Yeah, I really will have to see how I get on with the others, but I always go for my favourite one, so I'm going to put that on top. Like I said, I hope I'm not jittering you this way. So that goes like that. Then on top, I have the smaller one, which is this one here. And what I do is I put my teaspoons usually in a couple. I did get some cheapy ones, but they've lasted up well. They just get stained easily, even, you know, washing them up pretty good and like that. And then any of the like Sunday ones goes like that. Then what I tend to do is, because I don't use them that often, I have my two knives like that, and then I just lay that one on top like so. So that's how it stands sort of in my cupboard. And like I said, I've cleaned it, haven't got rid of anything, just 3 items I'm hoping to remove in the drawer at the side here, which is this one. So I'm going to put all that back, and then I'm gonna carry on. I did start later because I did some baking. It will come in a video at some point. I made some rock cakes, so I did that first thing this morning because I kept putting it off. So I'm going to put this away, and then I'm going to empty my second drawer at the side there. I actually call this more of my bit drawer, and then I have a junk drawer when I mean bit drawer, it's those items, yes, probably like the scissors we do go for. Realistically, this has worked out really well. And if I take these out, because these are what I've been getting from Iceland, I really didn't need another one of those. I don't know why I thought I needed one. This is how it is normally. Not too bad. It is sort of organised. Not organised chaos, but I know where everything is. But again, I'm going to take everything out. I'll just give you a rundown what I keep in here. No, I didn't actually take, I think these obviously were from Poundland, this one. And I thought they were really reasonable. I think it was more than £1. And I know it was £1.50 or £2, but I do like, if I do nothing else, I like to alter my spatulas about. So I've got that one. This one, if I remember rightly, the pumpkin spice one, that came from Tesco's, and I think it had a small one with it. And then I do have the Christmas one. Just move those out the way, and I do have a Christmas one as well. So I tend to leave those obviously at the back. I will take this out the packaging and those as well, just to save a bit of room. So I do keep skewers in here, and like I said, we tend to, I don't know, I'll have to check that they've all got, they're working. I did get another one. Again, a lot of crumbs. I've even got a screw that's come from somewhere. It's basically stayed pretty neat and tidy where I can find everything. Seasonal things again at the back. I didn't actually use those this Christmas, just gone, I must admit. And then I've got my Christmas spoon. Yeah, I'm trying to do it where I don't put so much up in the loft if I can. Things like this, you know, that are useful in the kitchen, I try and store them if I can. So I'm going to empty all this out and, you know, clean it all out because there is some crumbs. This one doesn't get done as regularly cleaned out as the other one, my everyday one, but never mind. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll share what else I tend to keep in this drawer. I put it all on the breakfast bar like this, it's amazing what I got in the drawer. But just a rundown of other things that I do keep in that drawer. Cocktail sticks. Besides the plain ones, what I call the plain ones, I do keep seasonal ones in here, although now I've put items over there like for parties or get-togethers or serviettes, plates. Maybe I could remove them, but it's one of those things, again, I know where they are. Obviously, I mentioned my scissors. I haven't got an expensive sort of icing set. I tend to go for these or the bags. Now, the bags have dual purpose. They're either for icing with like these metal pieces, especially again, hubby used to like to do all these different creams and things for the turkey, and when he cooked and things like that, he did more of the special occasion cooking for due to work and everything. But also I like these because you've seen them either with sweets in, or say a drinking chocolate mix and that, and then tie it up at the top. So when I see these, I tend to buy them, and you get them from Poundland. Home bargains tend to be reasonable, probably sometimes more reasonable than Poundland, and I've had a couple of subscribers mention about that, especially when I'm talking about the covers for, say, my slow cooker and that. I've got a jar opener here. I've also got I think it's a apple corer thing. Tea bag thing, I'm thinking about getting rid of that. I don't actually use that. Temperature gauge for cooked meat, especially if I'm doing a turkey or a large joint. That needs to be replaced. That's for obviously for juices and for mainly at Christmas time. I've got an egg thing that, again, I don't know the last time I used that. I haven't used these for a while. They're for poached eggs. Then I've got obviously my cup measuring ones and my spoon measuring ones. Butter knife, something I don't tend to use. This I used to use a lot, especially sticking it in like cucumber. If you've seen one of these and it winds it round, it makes it really decorative. And I remember once I got rid of all my bottle openers, and luckily a friend bought me this one, just so we got a bottle opener in the home. Electric carving knife. I've got extra blades because that's the second one I've had. That's for frothing up sort of milk or milkshakes, skewers, and the rest I've covered. Now what I use in here, and I can tell you this is 35 years old, this tray. Hubby had to cut it down. It's even still got the ticket on £2.99 from Great Meals, if you remember Great Meals, and he had to originally cut the back off because it wouldn't fit in the drawer. So yeah, I'm going to put everything back. I've actually put those forks and that back because, and the tenderizer in here, because that's where I had it, and I've put it back in there and it does fit, so I might just leave it in there now and get all this back. I think there's a couple of things I possibly can get rid of and a question mark on others. So I've put everything back. It's pretty much gone back as it was before previously, due to the fact it worked. I knew where everything was. Family members knew where to find everything. So it's the same. The only thing I've done is one of the pairs of scissors I've taken off the packaging. The other one I've left on. And the same with the lighters there. They probably could go in my junk drawer, but I've put them in here. And all my seasonal spatulas and everything is at the back there, and those skewers. And then that bat cookie cutter I've put in with my cutters. That's in the unit over there, which will be in when I do my dining room. So that is pretty good. As I said, I'm just revising what I have. Just a few bits, obviously some packaging off the items that I didn't take off. Tea bag holder, I don't understand why we bought that. I think it's some hubby bought. We tend to just sort of press it against the cup. Those things for poached egg. That one doesn't work, and the pair of scissors that are not working very well. That's why I got another pair. Those scissors, by the way, I got from Iceland. They're doing a basic range, which is £1 each. So I've taken these trays out of my bit drawer. This is how it's set up in my drawer. I have not sorted it out. Sometimes this is the sort of place, I presume this could happen to any household, where you've got a junk drawer and just shove everything in. I do have a sort of, you know, way of organising things and categories. So this goes on top. I'll deal with this first of all. When I say things tend to get dumped, these are the sort of things, I mentioned this has been in here for a few years now, is these little eggs and these little carrots, where they've come off like a little tree, or they got sort of kicked under furniture. That's where that ends up going. I keep trying to remember to stick this on. This actually belongs to a gingerbread house, my pink one that goes in my cubby. So I do know where they go. This is where sometimes bits end up that you find on the carpet or something. I'm not sure what they are, whatever. But I do have a lot of these command hooks and strips in different sizes. I tend to use those a lot. And obviously you can reuse these and just get the sticky pads to go on, like these, to go on the backs. So I've got these in all different sort of sizes. These, probably I don't need to keep all these. I could get rid of a few. These are for vacuum packs. Very often, you know, if I'm travelling, or say we're in the caravan, we tend to have a few of these in the caravan as well. I tend to keep one in my bag, in a pocket in my bag, because they tend to get lost. Then I've got a few, obviously, net rings or curtain rings. These that have come off furniture. We've got fuses here, and as I said, sometimes I don't know what everything is. That looks like it's from a bingo game that never got on a counter. And then yeah, things from games. And this obviously is Christmas lights. So that's the sort of thing I keep, and I use one of these boxes that you can get almost anywhere, reasonable from Poundland. I think this one came from the range, mind you, but that gives you some idea. And again, I know where everything is. Right, this 3-part one I think came from B&M. This works out and fits in my drawers amazing, so that's what I've done. Again, I will empty all this out and give it a wipe over. So in the back one, I've got hard nails. This is items I tend to keep in the house, especially like when hubby was alive and my son, myself, we've got things at hand, so we don't necessarily have to go out to the shed. I do have my own little toolbox that I keep in my cubby. So we've got hard as nails. I always tend to keep super glue in, especially new ones. These pens, you know, to touch up nicks in sort of woodwork and everything. This is something I brought to use on my hob. It's supposed to be heat resistant, or your radiators. It's like a whiteness sort of thing, like enamel paint type thing. So that's what's in there, and I think that might be something to do with the paddling pool or something. I've got a feeling, one of those sort of puncher type sticky things. So that's all in there. Funny enough, that stays the same. Like I said, I might still take it all out and give them a wipe over. This one, I think you ought to have one of these, if not the command strips. This is for hanging sort of art and picture frames and everything. And then again, I bought some, I think these were, yeah, Wilco's, to try them, but I've also tend to go to the command sort of range. I don't know if anybody else has tried a cheaper brand, whether they work just as well. If it's something really important, I think I would prefer to use a name brand. And then this one is the one that needs salt. I don't know what that belongs to. I know that was something to do with the cooker. That's something I've just bought from Temu. That's to do with, you know, your lime scale and everything. This just needs a little bit of tweaking. This is what I mean by things. I've got another one that usually used to stay in the lounge. I remember that with my candle, but I put it in here because of my granddaughter, and just a few little tools and things. Tape measures tend to stay in here and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'll just go through that. A few screwdrivers, pliers and things like that, and you get the odd screw sort of dumped in here. These little multi-tools tend to come in as well. So I'm going to take everything out, and then I'm going to wipe them over, and then I'm going to put everything back. The only thing is, obviously matches don't last very long. Well, I don't know, I've had this because I use lighters, you know, these sort of things. But I've tried these don't work. I know they've been in there a couple of years. This doesn't work, but I'm still going to keep it because it's sentimental. And it's got, we had these for the gents for our wedding, and then for the ladies we had sewing kits, aside like little bags of almond sweets as well. But yeah, so I'm going to keep that in here. I need to get some more matches because I don't know, because I have the lighters, I don't tend to use matches, but I might get another box in, but for some reason they don't work. Whether it's because I've had them so long, I don't know. So again, this is one thing that I've tried, and I have actually for 12 months kept up with it, and looks like there's not really anything I can get rid of. Probably just those matches, but I will keep that one because it's sentimental. Yeah, wipe it all out and get everything back. So I've got everything back. Nothing really different. Like I said, I've just sort of made sure everything was zoned, just straightened the tools up. I'm not even going to bother putting some of those in the shed. We keep buying these little gift sets. I think that grenade one hasn't been used. That was hubby's actually for it last Christmas, not this Christmas just gone obviously, but the previous Christmas. But it works out well. The only thing probably may get some matches, but other than that, everything is used. So I've only got rid of 2 boxes of matches and another lighter, well, 2 lighters actually. So yeah, I'm in a way, that just proves that it does work and it hasn't got over cluttered. Like I said, except for little bits, I put an extra couple of screws in there that I'm not sure what they belong to, but I try and remind myself to check here, although I didn't last year because of the Easter bits, and obviously I didn't bring my my pink gingerbread house down. But there you go. So I'm really pleased with that. So that's another drawer completed. So this is the fourth drawer, which I've already shared. I've changed over, and now I was going to use it for tea towels or use it for the junk drawer, but I've decided to leave the drawers as they were because they're working, and you ultimately go to those drawers. I've had a couple of incidences after I swapped over the soap powder cupboard, you know, the one under the sink to the saucepans, and occasionally I've gone to the corner one for saucepans. But there you go. So this is where I'm keeping all my sandwich bags, sacks, cling film, tin foil, and obviously my greaseproof paper. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.